Imagine having a conversation with someone with them sounding like this or like this. How'd that make you feel? Not valued, not appreciated, like your message didn't really matter? Welcome to the importance of nonverbal communication. According to YAF 2011, nonverbal communication accounts for 93% of all communication in the workplace, with physical communication being the most used form. This form of communication includes body language, facial expressions, eye contact, hand movement, time, distance between team members, and manners. Now, bringing this into the practical sense, let's welcome Laura. Hi Laura, do you agree with the comment that 93% of all communication is nonverbal? And what types of nonverbal communication do you see in your projects?
Right, I would say that I think I do agree with this, interestingly. So some of the things that definitely get used, so definitely facial expressions. When you have like a visual interaction with someone, you can start to tell if they're getting a little bit agitated or frustrated with their facial expressions. And that can then prompt you to change your approach with them. So definitely tone of voice can communicate if someone's confident in what they're saying. If you don't seem very confident in what you're telling them, they're not going to have a lot of confidence in you in actually going ahead and delivering the rest of that project. Body language for sure, or distance things. So when you're actually in the office and you're working with the rest of the team, if a person then decides to remove themselves like from the rest of the team or go sit elsewhere, you can kind of pick up on how busy someone may or may not be.
Thank you for this, Laura. As can be seen, there's a vast number of different types of nonverbal communication in the workplace. However, how important is this to the overall landscape of a project's success? Social networks are defined as the number and strength of relationships a certain individual has, both within organisations and developed with external stakeholders and customers. Did you know that when meeting an individual, an impression is created of you within the first 7 seconds of interaction? I sure didn't, and was surprised to find out that nonverbal communication is key in developing this impression. As concluded by Patella 2015, 55% of nonverbal communication is seen within body language, which they have encompassed to also include hand gestures and eye contact. They found that the quality of social networks can be continually improved if individuals understand the nonverbal cues associated when delivering a message. By looking specifically at their own members, they found that those with open body language and more positive facial expressions created stronger and larger social networks because people found them more trustworthy and reliable. To understand this a little bit better, let's bring in our second project manager, Sam. Sam, in your career, do you find that nonverbal communication affects social networks?
Yes, and the key reason for that is if you've got good nonverbal cues, by that it means that not only do you project sincerity or understanding or lack of understanding or a whole range of cues that you do, if you project them, it generally means also that you may understand them as well. It really helps you to develop better social networks.
So I think it comes back to how receptive someone appears and how open they appear to communication. So, you know, if someone's going to be a really receptive person, really open and openly confident too about how they communicate, it just helps other people gravitate toward that person. So again, that's where their social network kind of starts to build.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Laura. I hope that by listening to these examples, you better understand the importance of nonverbal communication in creating strong and big social networks. Nonverbal communication has a great influence over the whole communication process, as they can regulate, enhance, substitute, and accent a verbal message. However, when not delivered correctly, they can also have substantial consequences in regards to message interpretation. This is greatly seen when looking at projects that have teams located all around the world. Burgoon and Baku 2003 found that nonverbal communication is key to resolving any barriers that are seen within the teams. They found that in order for a message to be delivered and interpreted accurately, nonverbal communication, such as timing and facial expressions, were key. They concluded that being able to listen out for long pauses or watch out for really bad eye contact gave an insight into how well somebody has understood the information given. Throwing this over to both Sam and Laura, can you recall any time when nonverbal communication affected message interpretation and therefore affected a certain stage of a project?
I was working on a project at Velocity Frequent Flyer, and we were delivering like a major technical release, and we had a team that we were working with from Turkey. They were telling us that, yeah, it seems to be going well. There were two things that were happening. There was hesitancy in their voices, but also two, there were delays in their communication. What ended up happening was we then missed our deployment window. Negative impact was that we didn't end up deploying what we were supposed to deploy for this major release. And then two, it was like a failed release in that we undo all the changes that we implemented, because you can't half implement something.
So it was a telecommunications project. One of their vendors was moving their data center. So we had to make sure that we had new carriage, new fibre, etc. going into that data centre so that they could cut everything across. In Italy, they viewed due dates as suggestions. So what you have to do is change your non-verbal skills to be able to look at how they're dealing with things, to actually work out, are they actually really committing, or are they just saying the words? We didn't hit the dates, which were about a month in advance, then be delayed until the Easter long weekend.
Overall, nonverbal communication is key to ensuring success of all projects and morale between team members. Having listened to both Sam and Laura, we have learnt that nonverbal communication is more important in some instances than delivering the actual verbal message itself. I hope that by listening to Sam, Laura, and myself, you have come out of this presentation with a better understanding as to why our nonverbal communication skills need to be continually developed.